who do and don't know me, you probably don't, but treatment, neuroblastoma cancer, they gave her 2 days to live. She was giving an impending doom. I don't know if any of you in attendance have received anything like that, whether you're a father, spouse. But this beautiful young girl sprang to her feet with a smile on her face. She squeezed an additional 2 weeks out of life. And this is the truth. This isn't an exaggeration. Okay? The only thing that came out of her mouth was, we got some hamburgers to eat. We're running out of time.
So today, I'm gonna start praying. Father, I wanna thank you because you're an awesome God. We've noticed something at this moment, Father, that the first thing they did was to honor you. And this is what we're doing, honoring you for giving us life.
To piggyback off that, what perfect segue than a blessing like that into prayer. Now, for those of you in attendance, on behalf of Ojeda, his brother Jesse, his family, mom, dad, those of me, Ojeda, thank you for providing this platform, this ability for us who may not have elsewhere found the ability to contribute at such a cost. Amazing lineup of speakers tonight. I am so excited to introduce these young ladies. I don't know if any of you in attendance are experienced within the fight community, but there's a gentleman within our presence who has had his health struggles and his struggles himself, but he's been a pillar, and I mean a pillar, within the professional boxing community for a long time. He's going to be one of our co-main event of the evening. He will be our heading up right before we welcome our main event speaker, Miss Leia. She'll be joining us later in the evening. But I want to recognize this gentleman in attendance. If you guys can give a round of applause, please, to Mr. Eric ButterBean. To the microphone, Miss Lindsay LiCari.
Aiden was diagnosed at 13 months old, and Aiden was my only child. And at 13 months old, I came home and saw him crawling around, and he was breathing really heavily. And I couldn't understand, if he couldn't walk and run yet, why he was so tired. So me and my mother took him to the doctor. I realized that I was very alone in this situation. At least I felt that way at the time. And throughout, our inpatient treatments, I would notice that we were blessed because of the support of my family and the foundation, I was able to give my son 100%.
I appreciate you, Mr. Goodwill. Ojeda!
People often confuse me and Jeff because we're about to say hi, but I have a feeling he doesn't. Well, I just wanted to say thank you and welcome to everybody. I'm sorry I took the mic off. It's just a call for me, and plus I walk when I talk. So just wanted to say thank you so much. As Jeff was saying, I am the CEO of this organization called the Gold Corner. I'm not the founder. The founder is, as you can see, the silhouette, a beautiful little girl, Mia. And, I've had the blessing and honor, as Jeff was saying, I'm an ordained minister. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a mixed martial arts referee. That's where Jeff and I have worked together for years now. But as Lindsay was saying, the most important title that I've carried happened in July 19th, 2015. And that is when the nurse turned around, handed me a beautiful little girl, and she said, "Daddy, congratulations." you're a father. And a couple of hours later, in her mother's arms, as I'm holding her legs, I felt my daughter give her last breath in our arms. It was her last breath here, but her first one in paradise. And let me tell you, I've struggled so much. Let me tell you, I struggled with depression a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you, my coworkers are sitting right there. They know how I get. I spend more time with them than I do with my family probably. And they see how I get. It's just not fair, is it? It's my only daughter, my only child. It took me about a year to even talk about it. But I did tell her, I promised her 2 things before she gave her last breath. The first one was that I was always going to share her story, no matter where I went. And number 2 is that I was always going to do everything in my power that I could to help out other parents and children that have gone through what we did. And I had to honor that promise. And that is what brought me to do this, the Gold Corner. I'm going to be honest with you. I wish I wasn't standing here. Because that means my little girl would still be here. But as long as I'm here, I'm going to do God's work. Because I remember and I promise God, no matter what comes my way, I'm always going to serve you. I'm always going to speak about your greatness. As you're sitting there, let me ask you, if your marriage is failing, is God still good? If you're diagnosed, is God still great? If you lose a loved one, is God still in control? And the answer is yes. So that's what has brought me to this, to the Gold Corner. And really, I just want to thank everybody. As Lindsay was saying, the donation is helping us to keep families together. Because a lot of times, families don't know where their next meal is coming from, or if when they get home, their light's still going to be on. But with organizations such as Lindsay's, and you're going to hear about other organizations right now, we're helping parents. We're helping families stay together. And again, that's why I created the Gold Corner. And I remember I prayed about it. I said, God, I don't want to pick my board of directors. I want you to send them to me. And God has blessed me with amazing board members that have the same passion that I do for helping children. I'm going to go ahead and introduce them right now. And after they all stand up, I want you guys to give them a big round of applause because they're helping in this fight with me. First of all, my president back there, Mr. Quintin. My vice president, David Salcedo. My secretary, Jesse Ojeda. Our treasurer, Mr. Joe Polka. Our public relations director, Ms. Lozano. And my volunteer coordinators, Linda Ojeda and Jenny Ojeda. My development director, Emily Ojeda. And our senior advisor, Mr. Paul McDonald, who's taking the photos tonight. Thank you guys. This is my team. This is our team. This is our foundation. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for joining in this journey with me, guys. And see, this is where your donation can help me. Thank you so much for being here. Really, from the bottom of my heart. And if you can take anything from what I said today, I will give you the advice that my daughter showed me. And that is to truly live each day to its fullest. Because tomorrow is not promised. What are you doing for the kingdom of God? Look for God. Seek Him. He is good, I promise you. And if Lindsay and I can stand up here after having buried our children a couple of years ago, and we can tell you that God is good, it's because God is good. You see this motivational speaker you see up here? at times, most of the times, needs motivation himself. So just by being surrounded by all of you brings so much joy to my heart. Thank you for joining me in this. And like I said, really, truly, live each day to its fullest, because tomorrow's not promised. And what I always tell people, just hold on a little while longer, because we're almost home. God bless you and have a good night.
Where's Korea? Mendoza. The man, oh, this is a good one. Wow. The Manades Group. It's a member, affiliates, and all of their support.
Aportar su propio granito de arena si nos visita en nuestra página de web en Annual Gold Corner.
Niños cuando están peleando, les podemos ayudar financieramente para que puedan pagar sus biles y puedan pasar más tiempo con sus hijos mientras ellos pelean.
Claro que sí, Joel, platícanos cómo te sientes en ese primer año de gala, cómo empezaste, porque obviamente es algo muy difícil para empezar, pero aquí estamos, gracias a Dios. Joel, se hizo sold out, ¿verdad? Se vendieron todos los boletos, se vendieron todas las mesas, van a recibir su cena, va a haber aquí, de todo aquí, sentimiento encontrado, estamos muy contentos.
Let's see if the $50 ticket gets claimed. Last four of your ticket, 9061. 9061, $50. Congratulations to that whole table. $50 ticket. Thank you to all that music and video. Your contributions.
Oh, we do.
They're eating dessert. 9088.
We have that.
908. We have 450. We have 500 for the poster, the picture of balance. 500. 500. Going once. Red, white, and blue trunks, American flag. You always had a bloody nose. You notice that? Even when you won. You never got hit sometimes. From top to bottom, ladies and gentlemen, born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, U.S.
I'm a Florida girl, moved to Nashville. Yeah. So thanks for that. Thought I would just kind of break the ice there. Anyways, let's get down to it. I just wanted to first and foremost say I'm just so honored to be here. Thank you, Joel.
So we go to a local hospital and they do a biopsy. And back then, almost 20 years ago, You didn't get your results right away like you do now. So I was on a field trip a few days later. It was 9/11. Yes, the 9/11. I was on my school bus.
And still, at that age, I just really didn't grasp on to what that was going to entail, what that journey was going to be like. Cancer of the lymphatic system.
Yeah.
And 20 years ago, being a child with that, go outside and ride a bike, right? I was now a number, how you feel on a scale of 1 to 10, in an isolated, cold hospital room, filling out forms.
335 pounds of pure championship American muscle. He's had over 300 professional fights in his career. Owner-operator of Mr. Bean's Barbecue Gym. He hails from Alabama, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, the former IBA, WAA, WBA, and Elite One MMA champion of the world, Eric ButterBean Esch.
I'm gonna do this a little different, guys. I gotta run that. And him. Then guess what? We're all here and we're all having a great night. Okay, first of all these other guys are here to tell you need to donate. I'm not gonna tell you that. You know it in your heart. So everybody that's got an envelope, make sure it's on your table. Everybody got one? You gotta look, make sure you got an envelope. Alright, good, now I'm talking. You know what, I don't do a lot of these, but only one time that I do any kind of speaking engagements, if it's for a cause I really think it's really good. So I'm here. I'm gonna go way back in my fighting career when I was probably 15, 16, 18 fights in. The promotion company wanted me to go to Children's Hospital Cancer Ward to meet the kids. Well, I went and I'm like, man, if I can meet the kids and cheer them up a little bit, that'd be awesome. I mean, so I got in there and I'm going through this shit right now. Play it right now. What is that? What's the word? Remission. He was in total remission. So I mean, that's just amazing. So I'm gonna go a little bit further to a kid just recently, and I was setting up at a booth at a convention, and my pictures and my gloves, things for sale. That's kind of what I do now. Used to do appearances and things like that. And this kid come up, he's looking at my stuff, and he goes, I ain't got no money, but I just like to shake your hand. I said, that's cool, no problem. So I shook his hand, looked at a nice name, and he said, come here, family, and started crying. And I'm thinking something bad wrong. I'm like, and he's crying, but he said, come here, I want to talk to him. He goes, I just never thought I'd really get to meet you. And that made me feel so good, just to be able to make him have a better day. It's just, I can't explain how that makes a person. If you can make one person's day better, just by something little like that, and it's kind of like Joel does, by helping these parents out. If you can make their day just a little bit better, I mean, it makes you feel better. Believe me, it really does. But, let's go back to my fighting days. I've had tons of ups and downs, and it kind of relates to the kids again because they're the true fighters. I mean, what they go through is nothing that I went through, and they're strong, and the parents that are behind them are even stronger than the kids, and they gotta be. And that's one reason I'm really thankful about being here. I'm not really that good at this. So has anybody got any questions? It would help me, help you. Come on, guys, anything. Hardest fight. Probably the trickiest, hardest fight was the Larry Holmes fight. I was known as the king of the 4-rounders, and I've always wanted to prove that I could go on 4, but I mean, that's what the promoter wanted to pay me for, so I was willing to do it. So I took the fight, and my object from there to go give Larry everything I could in the first 3 or 4 rounds and get him out of there. And Larry's idea was he's going to tire me out after the 3rd or 4th round and get me out of there. Well, our plans didn't work either way for both of us, but it ended up that he got scared of me in like the 3rd round after he hit me with a solid punch. It was probably not most people out. I still have a neck, so it didn't affect me much. And I just looked at him, take the bitch you got, Larry. And he got scared. That was my downfall, I think, when I scared him from him not being able to hurt me. And he had a hell of a jab. I mean, he could jab. I mean, he could throw some punches, but he would jab and run. And I finally caught him in the end of that was the first attempt that I dropped him. And I don't know if it was a full solid punch that went down, but he went down. But he did get up and win a decision. But that was probably the trickiest and hardest fight I had. And other than that, there was a fight in MMA. His name's Cabbage Herrera. I don't know if any of y'all watch UFC or anything. Cabbage is a tough dude. He's from Hawaii. I was fighting him in his hometown. And I think in the first round, he elbowed me, and he knocked my front teeth totally out in the mouthpiece, broke them off in the mouthpiece. So I had to pull the mouthpiece out, get the teeth out, put the mouthpiece back in. And I swear I see fear in his eyes the second I did that. And he had the upper hand at that point. But as soon as I put my mouthpiece back in after getting the teeth knocked out, I think I had fear. And I ended up breaking his arm and then busted a couple ribs. I won that fight pretty easily after that. But I've had a very successful career. I'm really happy for everything, the ups and downs that I've had. And you know, it's the people that I meet now. If I can make one person's day just that much better, it makes my life better. And that's one thing that's really got me out of a lot of depression. Because I mean, everybody has their ups and downs. And Joel, I can't imagine the depression you went through, but keep it up. You got a lot of friends. You got a lot of friends here, my friend. Friends help a lot, and one other thing I've learned is make sure you tell people you love them. Every day, the announcer said it. I've heard it a couple. That's kind of my motto. I do a talk show. I tell all the guys I do a show with every week I love them because I mean, you don't know when the next day could be. If you haven't talked to your kids in a while, just call them and say, hey, I love you. You just hang up on them. Do it at 3 o'clock in the morning, they should wake you up in the middle of the night. So it's just, it does 2 things. It gets back at them and it lets them know you really do love them. Need more questions?
So first of all, I'm part of Joel's board. I saw you fight Cabbage Herrera when I was a kid. I'm a huge MMA fan. I'm a huge ButterBean fan.
I ended up fighting Cabbage 3 times. So
I saw it when you fought him in Hawaii.
Yeah, that was a heck of a fight.
So I'm really bummed that I didn't win that, beating that guy. I didn't have a talking fight. And also, it's not a question, but as a millennial, watching you fight Johnny Knoxville was the funniest goddamn thing I've ever seen in my life.
And believe it or not, it is my absolute most famous knockout. Hundreds of knockouts for knocking out Johnny Knoxville on the show Jackass. It's one more notable form out of anybody.
It's an honor to have you here, sir. Thank you so much.
I love when I'm at an appearance and someone comes up and goes, I just got to meet you. You just had my favorite knockout of all time. And I'm thinking, which one? I think, I love you when you knock out Johnny. Johnny didn't make like it so much. So. Anybody else?
What's your favorite submission?
You know the Kimura. I like the Kimura. It's an easy submission. Matter of fact, the very last Pride show for UFC and Pride, and Pride from Japan, it was a little more prestigious than UFC. I fought on the very last Pride show, fought a guy named Lozano, which is a big Brazilian, I was supposed to lose the fight. The Japanese wanted me to lose and one of their guys to win, but I ended up submission. I went to American Top Team and trained in Florida. Woo! And I submitted him in if you keep it the things to the simple techniques, Well, let me rephrase this. I keep it the simple techniques because I couldn't do a fly anymore or any of that stuff. I'm a little bit restricted on that. But yeah, I like to keep things simple and things like that.
65 knockouts, which one sticks out the most?
Do what?
Out of 65 knockouts, which one sticks out the most?
Probably a guy named Louis Monaco. I was at a fight. I've been gone from home for about 3 months. I had to take training and would have fights, and I was really wanting to get home to see my kids. I was missing my wife and family, and we had the red-eye flight booked to come back home from California. But if we didn't knock him out before the second round was over, I would miss my flight. So I went out and knocked him out really quick in the first round. Caught my priorities, exactly. I caught my flight home, and I got to spend some time with my family. Other than that, it was going to be like another week before I get another flight because everything was so crazily booked up. But Monaco went on and fought both Klitschko's. He knocked out Buster Douglas, knocked out Kevin McBride. He was really a tough dude. I shouldn't care at the point.
Hey, can you talk about your transition out of fighting back to a non-fighting life? I'm a 25-year U.S. military officer. Like, I'm getting ready to transition out, and I often so could you talk about that?
Wow, it's hard. I mean, I actually went through a slight depression, from going when you finally hang it up, when your hips giving up, and you can't. You have a hard time getting around because your knees are messed up, and but when I decided to do it, I wanted to spend more time with the family and kids, so I hung it up. I didn't like retire and come back 10 years later and do it again. And when I decided I finally give it up, I give it up. But it's really hard, and the one thing that helps me cope with being not fighting is people, is actually your friends and family, and just thanks for all the service, and I mean. That means a lot to us, it really does. Everything I realize you've done for us already, we will always appreciate it. So thank you. Anybody else? I know I'm short of my time. Go ahead.
Hardest thing you have to overcome in a fight.
Do what?
Hardest thing you have to overcome in a fight.
I didn't hear you.
Hardest thing you have to overcome in a fight.
Wow, the hardest thing I have to get overcome in a fight is probably getting hit. No, I'm joking. The actually getting hit part didn't mind me. I mean, I really don't feel pain like that. And if people ask me who hit me the hardest, you really don't feel like this. You feel a baseball bat and hit the vibration. The hardest thing is trying to figure out if they're actually going to try to fight or run, or what their offense or defense is going to be. That's one of the hardest things. Normally you'll figure it out in the first round, but with Holmes, it took a couple rounds to figure out he was going to run the rest of the fight.
I've always been one to make sure the smile catches the tears. And man, I got to know this beautiful young lady and her dad. She's undefeated. Undefeated and a 2-time champion when it comes to cancer. She represents the Hunt family. Right now, she hails from McKinney, Texas, USA. Right here in the soils of Texas. Founder of Leia's Kids. Humbly welcome to the podium, Miss Leia Hunt.
Oh boy, wow. Thank you. To serve your local community and your local families, but also wanting to be there for Mia and her family. And I really just wanted to thank Joel for having me and for inviting me, but also for Joel's family, his parents, Mia's grandparents, and also the board for all that you guys do day in and day out. So thank you so much. So some of you may know this, some of you may not. But if you grow up on the oncology floor like I did and like Tay did also, there's a joke that we have for childhood cancer. And we call it the big C. And at least where I was treated, that's what we called cancer. We said, the big C, and today we're gonna fight the big C. But what if I told you something even more powerful is known as the big C? Something that affects even more people is known as the big C. I know it's not COVID, but I can tell you that the big C is the cross. And every single person bears a cross. Every single person is affected and has a story by something, whether that's childhood cancer, or that's depression, or that's grief, or that's something else that you are fighting internally. But what if I told you at the cross is where the hope is at? What if I told you your cross is your life's mission? Cancer is not a friendship that I wanted as a young kid. So what do you do when something in your life is still hurting you? You keep fighting it. And so then we started treatment again, and I did multiple rounds of radiation and over 26 surgeries, and the cancer was still there. And so then finally we placed a radioactive isotope on my left eye, and this killed the cancer cells. But with that isotope, it also took the complete vision in my left eye. And now I can stand here as a 22-year-old and tell you that I am cancer-free, but I don't see anything out of my left eye. And I've always said that, going through treatment, it's really hard. Ask any kid that's gone through it, any adult, anybody who's gone through childhood cancer. It's its own beast. But then you're a kid, and you're not really a kid anymore because you don't understand what's happening to you, and you're really confused. And that's where the real battle starts. I always tell my kiddos that I meet that as we talk about treatments, that the real battle is after. The real battle is when the door closes and nobody sees you anymore, that you're not on the news anymore, and you really don't understand what's going on. That's where the battlefield started. And for me, my battle came quick when it started with me in school. So being blind in my left eye drifts, and it's a different color. And a lot of kids can say a lot of things. Oh, Leah, why do you have googly eyes? Oh, Leah. Oh, thank you. I've been losing my voice all week, so it's been interesting preparing for this. So thank you. And I one time had a teacher who I asked her a question, and she said, Leah, next time you talk to me, I want you to look me in the eyes. And I had those kids that made fun of me for having an eye that drifted and being sick and in and out for doctor's appointments. But I can tell you that I am so very, very grateful for my cancer. And if God said, hey, Leah, I need you to fight this battle again, I need you to do it one more time for me, I would gladly tell him that I would fight it again. Because in my cross of cancer, in my cross of always not feeling good and not knowing and being different and making life, it's my own new normal, that is where my mission has come. That's where I've seen my faith save my life. That's where I've found my calling to go and help other kids fight cancer and help other families fight cancer and to give them hope. To let them know that what you're going through, that doesn't define you. That's not going to stop you, because there's a higher calling on your life, and God gave you this mission for a reason, and He's going to help you carry it out, however that may look like.
And to pay tribute to the amazing lives of our children in cancer awareness. These family members you see up here, they live every single day of their lives, knowing full well they don't take it for granted. They've been blessed with the minute they have. For those of you in attendance, if you ever think you're overdue for a miracle, you forgot you're standing right in the middle of one. It's not about the dollar you contributed or the time. It's effort, right? Action. If God seems far away, you need to ask yourself, who moved? Okay? Because I can tell you right now, every single one of you in this room is a mirror image of some sort of value, of the fundamental idea of what it is to be God. We're here for a reason and a season. Tonight we had the effect of being a part of this man's family. attributed to me, Ojeda. Join me, folks, as we in proper American fashion. Please rise to your feet. Please rise to your feet, folks. At this time, we're going to take a moment of silence for our DJ. Please prepare. We are going to have our honorary 10 bell count. Not only for Aiden Brown, the TGC Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Aiden Brown, class of 2021. Little handsome guy. Wow. Yeah, he's handsome. Man. Miss B. Ojeda. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in an honorary 10 bell count for Aiden and Mia. Gold Corner Gala, El Paso, Texas, USA. For those in attendance, please give yourself a round of applause. For Leia Hunt, Lindsay LiCari, Tay Scheibe, of course, Miss Leia Hunt, Lara, your contribution as well, participation. Mr. Jesse, thank you so much. Mr. Coca, thank you. And not only thank you so much for your contribution, participation, Mr. Eric ButterBean Esch. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this in a proper fashion. This young lady, she stands a little over 2 feet to 3 feet tall. She wears the red, green, and white trunks with the gold trim. She is a 25-time champion of cancer. Ladies and gentlemen, she hails from the soils of El Paso, Texas, USA. Help me welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gold Corner, your champion, Mia Ojeda! Ladies and gentlemen, join us. Find us on social media, please, footage, images, and of course the charitable links in which you can continue your contributions beyond the walls of Grace Gardens Event Center. Thank you for joining us. Please join us for the after party. Join us, ask questions, meet these beautiful, amazing people up here on the stage, just like I did. Give yourself that blessing. To all of our sponsors that joined us, from our hearts to yours, from our families to yours, thank you so much. Please, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Thank you. From the Gold Corner Gala.